Hello, I am Archon Michael Mears, the current Sire Archon of Beta Xi Boule. It is our distinct honor and pleasure to pay tribute to the founders and charter members of Sigma Pi Phi Fraternity Beta Xi Boule. These men were and are truly distinguished individuals who exhibit the essence and spirit of our fraternity. Sigma Pi Phi Fraternity was founded on May 15, 1904 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. On Sunday, May 16, 1982, at the Daytona Hilton Hotel in Daytona Beach, Florida, Beta Xi Boule officially became the 60th subordinate Boule of Sigma Pi Phi Fraternity. 4 founding archons and 9 charter members started our Boule 40 years ago. The Boule maintains for membership the high standards of college graduation, professional attainment, exceptional achievement, and distinguished service, and for young men, unusual potential and promise in their field of endeavor. It is noteworthy that since its founding, the Boule has remained faithful to the founders' ideas that Sigma Pi Phi Fraternity should exist not for itself, but to unite successful, mature, educated men to know one another better, to aid one another, and to accomplish for the common good that which each could not be achieved by individual endeavors. And now, a tribute to the founders and charter members of Beta Xi Boule.
How did I hear about the Boule? I was asked by Oscar Sistrunk if I was interested in joining and being a member of Sigma Pi Phi. He explained to me that a group of existing archons who just happened to be living in Central Florida had just received approval from the national body to form a Boule in Central Florida. He indicated that he and the existing archons of Sigma Pi Phi identified and evaluated a group of men in Central Florida, and as a result, he was very honored to extend to me an invitation to join. He talked to me a little bit about the fraternity. He told me that I should review this opportunity as, in fact, an honor. He indicated that he'd like to hear back from me within a week and gave me a copy of the Boule Journal to read, so I could get a better feel for the membership as well as the activities of the Boule.
I didn't know anything about Boule before my father-in-law, who was in the Boule in the state of Kentucky. I learned a great deal from him, specifically membership qualifications, meeting protocol, and social activities. Since Alma, my wife, was a child at that time of the induction, she would tell me about how the family settings and how excited she got when her parents would dress up for the Christmas Boule affair for the Kusai.
As I recall, the ceremony was on a Sunday because I had to go to work the next day. I was at the Daytona Beach Hilton. It was a formal ceremony, as you would expect. We had a black tie on. We had all of the existing archons, the founding archons, as well as the archons to be accepted into the Boule president with their spouses. And it was a lovely evening. I believe we also had Ted Jones, who was the Grand Sire Archon of the fraternity at the time, along with Butler Henderson, who managed the induction ceremony. It was a wonderful event. It was a really great start for Beta Xi.
I personally knew Oswald Brunson when he was president of Bethune-Cookman College, as now and then. I was fortunate to be a member of several organizations with him, and we were fraternity brothers, Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity.
I had met Dr. Oswald Brunson in that he succeeded my father-in-law as president of Bethune-Cookman. As a matter of fact, I think Dr. Moore introduced me to Dr. Brunson and his lovely wife right up to church in Daytona Beach. He was an outstanding individual. He was a theologian. He was a educator, got his undergraduate degree from Bethune, and his PhD from Gammon, which is part of Northwestern University. He was able to build upon the success of his predecessor, Dr. Moore. He took the school to the next level, and the university owes a great deal to Dr. Brunson. I knew Oscar Sistrunk well. He was my neighbor in Maitland, Florida. Dr. Sistrunk was a very successful dentist in Winter Park. He moved to Central Florida from Houston, where he was a member of Nu Boulé. Dr. Sistrunk was, the thing I remember the most about Dr. Sistrunk was he was the energy behind getting Beta Boulé started. He would follow up on everything. He got all the paperwork into the Grand. As a matter of fact, I think he became our first grammatus as a result of that. But I think we all owe Dr. Sistrunk gratitude for his leadership and his sheer hard work in getting Beta Xi started. William Fears, I got a chance to know him well after becoming a member. And I would describe him as brilliant. William Fears knew, we should talk a lot about Chappie James, who was an early mentor of mine. And William Fears, as I recall, was an engineer, project engineer. He was an inventor. He was an author. As I said, he was a brilliant man. William Fears deeply believed that this nation needed to renew its commitment to developing young people. It's one thing he stood and worked on most of his career. Archon Richard McKinney was born in Live Oak, Florida. He was an educator, professor, college president, theologian, and author. He attended Morehouse College, Andover Newton Theological School, and earned a PhD from Yale University. Archon McKinney served as Grand Sire Archon of Sigma Pi Phi fraternity from 1986 to 1988.
All 7 deceased members were exemplary men. We began our camaraderie at that time, and it grew and grew, and from there we became very involved in the community.
I knew all of the charter members before the induction, but not all of them well. I got to know most of them as members of Beta Xi. And I must say that I'm very proud and have deep admiration for all of the 1982 charter members. Over the years, each member have made great contributions to the fraternity and the overall community. They all have demonstrated a sense of brotherhood and the spirit of the fraternity.
Edward Cowan was a retired educator administrator and was responsible for our first history compilation.
Ed Cowan moved to Florida from Cleveland, Ohio, where he was an administrator with the Cleveland Public School System. He settled in Merritt Island. Archon Cowan was a Thesaurus on 4 different occasions and was Sire Archon in the mid-1990s. He was a Tuskegee Airman and an extraordinary gentleman. I think I was introduced to him by Bob Billingsley initially, who overlapped with him at Kent State University.
Rogers Fair was a renowned pastor of Stewart Memorial Church and a community leader and activist for Bethune-Cookman College and our university.
Archon Gaines was from Quincy, received a bachelor's degree from Bethune-Cookman College and a master's degree from Florida A&M. You've heard of a house being divided. Who was he going to root for at the football games? He was an executive vice president at Bethune-Cookman College. I've heard several physicians comment that Rabbi Gaines coached them through the medical exam for admittance to medical school. Many have commented that they were very much influenced by his work ethic. Archon Gaines also owned the Black Funeral Home in Daytona Beach. As all of the top executives at Bethune-Cookman, he was very active in the Daytona Beach community.
Theodore Nicholson was a BCC, non-BCU professor and dean of the science department and a fraternity brother.
Archon Nicholson was head of the Department of Mathematics at Bethune-Cookman. He earned a PhD in mathematics from the University of Illinois. He was an exceptional teacher and mentor for his students. Archon Nicholson believed in academic excellence and worked tirelessly to ensure that his students learned, particularly mathematics. He was very active in academic circles and associations, particularly the ones focused on mathematics. He brought an enormous amount of academic credibility to the university. Royce Walden, I knew him well. Archon Walden, at the time of his induction, was an executive with the Orange County school system. Archon Walden was a very strategic thinker. He was a mentor to me and a few other members of Beta Xi. He was one of the best in terms of his influence in all segments of the Orlando community. He was a strong believer and believed in the value of building relationships with people of influence. And as a result, Archon Walden got a lot of things done in the community. Archon Walden and his Akusa, Eddie Kay, were very gracious people and always very welcoming.
Robert Wright was an educator, fraternity brother, and very active and serving the community.
Dr. Philip Stewart. I met Dr. Stewart at Stewart Memorial United Methodist Church, and I got a chance to enjoy his company at our meetings. Dr. Stewart moved to Daytona Beach from New York. In New York, he was the director of the medical center at Harlem Hospital. He practiced at Halifax Hospital in Daytona Beach. He was well respected in the community as a physician and was active, very active, in the Volusia County Medical Society, as well as the NAACP and other aspects of the community.
The Boule met all my expectations from hearing about this prestigious organization as a young man and now seeing the accomplishments, contributions, and services rendered by the member Boulets in the communities. It's quite amazing and exemplary.
One consistent factor that my wife and I have had is the opportunity to affiliate with Archons and ACUSA in the Boule. So over the last 40 years, even though we had moved, had several moves, the one consistent factor we've had is the Boule, which is really been a real plus in our lives. I think the one thing about Boule is you get in, you get out of it what you put into it. We've been engaged in Boule, very engaged, for 40 years, and we've gotten a lot out of it. And so our expectations have been met and exceeded.